What's up, guys? Mark here. Welcome back to another episode of the pod. And today we're going to talk about a little story that I have for you. So, this is something that I want to share because I think it adds a lot of context into life when it comes to hiring a service provider to get work done for you. So, this last Friday, I was finally able to fire up and run my beautiful new 28-foot Boston Whaler Conquest. If you guys know me, you know that I have a bit of an addiction. And that addiction is the water and boats and everything about it. So, back in early spring, my two boat partners and I, Dylan and Doug, decided to sell our beloved 23-foot Grady White. Beautiful boat we owned for about 2 years and had a lot of fun with. Just decided we were going to sell it. Ended up moving on. One of our partners wanted out and we sold it. And then around a couple of months later, my buddy Doug and I were like, well, we need another boat. We need something we can dive and fish off of in SoCal. So we picked up this beautiful 2000, and I think it's a 2001 28-foot Boston Whaler Conquest out of South Carolina in Hilton Head. And we had that boat shipped out here. And once we got it out here, we knew we had to get some work done to it. So we had a survey done on it when it was in Hilton Head, and then we ended up having a trailer. We bought a trailer in southern Florida, had that trailer rebuilt so it could pick up the boat and ship it across country. We got the boat to LA. It's at my buddy's storage facility, my boat partner's Doug's storage facility. And we had to get some work done on it. And, we were at a time where it was early midsummer and we couldn't find the right mechanic to get the work done. It was just challenging to put the boat into a shop and to get the work done. And honestly, we were looking for the cheapest option too. So this is where the story comes into place. We ended up going with a mobile mechanic to get the work done. And ultimately, the work took forever. And every time we try to move forward with a different piece to just get the motors operational and get a basic service done, there was a challenge and there was an upcharge and there was more parts needed and there was issues. And finally, we got the boat into a place where this mobile mechanic was like, it's ready to go. You can put it in the water. We put it in the water and had engine issues. Motors weren't firing right. One of them was overheating. And it was such a pain. It wasted a whole Sunday. And we had to put the boat back on a trailer, get it out of the water. And then finally we decided, you know what? Let's bring it back to the Cabrillo Boat Shop in Long Beach, which is a shop that we've worked with on several other boats in the past. The manager, Leslie, is fantastic. And we decided, let's bring the boat back there. So we brought the boat back there. Caesar, their mechanic, he's awesome, did a proper evaluation on it, figured out what was wrong, and we knew it was going to cost us more money, and we knew it was going to take more time, but we put the boat in the water. We dropped the boat off. And it took a few weeks for them to get everything done, but I'm happy to say that this past Friday, we were able to put the boat in the water. And we were driving all the way up to Redondo, where we keep the boat, going 31 knots, having a great time. And that was just a great realization, a reminder to me to why you always want to hire the right person to do the job. And the moment you try to skimp out on time or you try to skimp out on budget and you try to do something for cheap, it's going to cost you more money and time at the end of the day. Because if you don't have the right person from the beginning, you're going to have to redo the work and you're going to have to spend way more time. Ultimately, if I just brought the boat to Cabrillo Boat Shop and let them do the work from the beginning, I would have had this boat operating all summer. I would have saved myself a lot of time, a lot of headache, and ultimately, we would be in a way better place. So the reason I'm just filming this episode today, and I wanted to share this story with you, is because I run into this time and time again when I'm pitching new business or I'm getting new clients at Bread Loaf. Someone will always do it cheaper. Someone will always say they'll do it faster. But ultimately, there's 3 pillars to any project. There's scope, there's time, and there's budget. And you can't have all 3 of those, right? You can't have, you just can't. You can't get all 3. You can't change those around. So, ultimately, when you're choosing a service provider, and it's something that we hear time and time again, the cheapest option is never the best option. All the time. If you skimp out a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s, expect to be losing that in some way, especially when you're working with a service provider on the agency end. Great talent is not cheap in 2025. Doesn't matter where the talent's at in the world. Great expertise is not cheap. There's an opportunity cost to any service provider to do the work. And ultimately, we've been finding time and time again that there's always someone that's willing to undercut us, and there's always someone willing to make over promises. But at the same time, we've won more business by people coming back 3, 6, 12 months later and saying, hey, we had a terrible experience with that person that pitched us and we ended up going with. They ended up under-delivering, over-promising, and ultimately that story is told over and over again. So I wanted to leave this little story for you today to just break down what it looks like when you hire the right person. The right person is never going to get things done super, super fast. There's a reason why things take time. Is because a professional knows what it's going to take. And even though you want to rush them, even though you want things done overnight, ultimately great work cannot be done overnight. And ultimately great work cannot be done really cheap. You need a good budget, you need a solid foundational scope, and you need a solid timeline. So with that being said, I wanted to share that today. If you're a brand and you're looking to evaluate an agency or a service provider in the future to work with, just remember, the cheapest guy probably is the cheapest for a reason. I'm not telling you to go with the most expensive, but at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. And in 2025, there's hundreds of thousands of agencies out there trying to stay alive and trying to make a dollar. And a lot of them will overpromise and underdeliver. And when I look at what we've built at Bread Loaf over the last decade, working with hundreds of brands, some of them have been with us since day one. we pride ourselves on telling our clients how it is. And granted, we will bend and we will try to get things done if they need to get done in a manner that we think is unrealistic. If we can try to do it, we'll get it done. But ultimately, if you want to work with someone and you want someone to deliver great work, they're going to need budget, they're going to need time, and they're going to need resources. So that being said, wanted to end this podcast today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.